Hey AfterBuzzers, I'm your host Hayley Clover, and this week we've got all of the brides, not just one, all of them, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I don't really know
Or
the song, but I
7
like
weddings.
it.
You don't know
I
the
know.
song?
All the
Old song.
brides. I loved that.
It was cute, right?
Yeah.
Gamble's description of how it was like weirdly cool.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. It was kind of bizarre, but
Right.
I liked it.
Seeing all of the different dresses.
Yes.
So funny.
And all the old school pics.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Hey guys, again, I'm your host, Hayley Clover. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover. And I am joined by this beautiful lady. Hello, hello.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Angela Struck, and you can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
It's just the two of us again, girl.
I know, but that's all we need.
Yes, our other awesome co-host, he's sick, but feel better, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, and I think Maddie will be back the following week as well.
Good.
So.
Well, lots to talk about today. I was saying before we started, not as much happened today.
No, it's a little, it's like in films, like it's like it builds and then there's drama and then it builds, so I felt like this was a bit of a building setting up. It looks like next week's episode with the wedding.
Oh, goodness.
Hashtag
The wetting.
Wedding disaster.
We could call it with all of the rain. Yeah, we'll see next week how that turns out. I'm hoping that it's not a disaster.
I know, I'm
I feel
hoping
bad.
for her sake they're just showing us these horrific clips and that it changes and it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, this week we had a lot of one-on-one scenes with different relationships throughout the group, whether it was with the girls themselves or with the girls and their ex-husbands or families, and first, before we get into all of those relationships, let's talk about Penaflor. The beginning, we get the end result of when she rejected the invitation.
You have to give it a second thought or whatever she said.
Yeah.
Give back the invitation until she's taken more time to think.
Listen, I don't totally disagree with her thought process. Just why she would do it then is like totally inappropriate.
Yeah, I hear you. The timing was terrible, but it's also kind of a slap in the face, don't you think, to say, you probably haven't even thought about this. Like, she had thought about it. We saw the prior conversations with her husband where she was really kind of mulling it over, speaking with her son, stepson, but as she feels, son, about it. So I thought it was kind of rude, and then the timing, of course, was horrific.
Yeah.
If she actually was concerned and was like, listen, it's your day. I don't want to be there, be a face that's negativity or distracting in any way. So, out of concern for you, if you don't feel ready to give me that invite, then I understand, but the way she did it was just, again,
right, all about her.
All eyes on her. I thought Gina said it really, well, that she said Gamble, or Penaflor wanted Gamble to just give her the whole tray of lasagna. She needs it all. She needs Gamble to just beg her to be there. So.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think it was totally rude, and they could have done it one-on-one. But I do disagree with how Gamble is saying that she's extending the olive branch, because I don't believe that's true. She keeps saying, I don't like her, I don't want her there, but I don't want people asking where she is.
Yeah.
I think that's BS. If you don't want her there, I think if it was like a normal, not TV show, if I didn't want you at my wedding, you wouldn't be at my wedding.
Yeah, but in her defense, I think they're all in this group of friends, right? And it's like, oh, I can't believe Gamble didn't invite Penaflor.
Right.
Here we're all best friends. It's like we all have to pretend in our minds that they are this group of friends, even though we all know that they all hate each other. Right. But so I think she's just like, it's less drama for me to invite her and just, turn over a new leaf.
Sure.
Than to start this all up again, and then Penaflor and any argument can be like, yeah, you didn't invite me to your wedding.
Right. Okay, that's true.
I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I definitely understand. It's kind of like she said she's critical of her clothes. She's critical of her husband. She's critical of everything. Why would she want her at the wedding?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's not funny, but it's a little amusing how all the girls don't want Penaflor to play the victim after they just told her, well, we hate you. We hate your clothes. You're annoying. I told you you're annoying to your face.
Yeah.
I mean, they all said it. And then they're like, oh, don't play the victim, Penaflor. And she's like, you guys literally just kicked me to the curb.
Yeah. Yeah, I did actually feel bad for her in that scene because I think we all can relate to a moment when you feel like ostracized, the odd woman out, and that everybody is kind of against you. I think she really felt that way genuinely in that moment when she was trying to leave and everything. And that's I was pretty impressed with Gamble that episode because...
Do you think she was actually, upset or felt bad for her?
I think she did. I think she just felt bad about the whole situation. I think, she's getting married and she wants just positivity and happiness, and that she hurt Penaflor, and then that Penaflor was so sad and she was hurt and the whole thing. I think Gamble handled it really well by apologizing, even though arguably she didn't owe that to Penaflor, and giving her a big hug and kind of making it right. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it was also a way, I think, for her to just end it.
Yeah.
Let's
just like put it to rest. Yeah.
Yeah. The only person in the group that's not faking their feelings for Penaflor is Jackie. Jackie has no problem speaking her mind about how she just annoys the shit
I literally wrote in here 10 times love Jackie because she's just get effed Penaflor, and he has no qualms about it. She's just speaking her truth at this point. I think she's just had it with Penaflor.
That's one thing I have always liked about her. I don't like when these girls flip-flop with their feelings, or that's when they come off so fake, when we know that's not how they're feeling. Jackie's just very honest all the time, and when she decides that maybe that was wrong, she apologizes, but for now that's how she's feeling. So
yeah, you're exactly right. It really takes away from their integrity when they flip-flop like that. Lydia flip-flops so much.
Oh man, we'll have to get to Lydia a little bit later on.
But yes, Team Jackie right now. I love that she just calls a spade a spade.
Yes,
that was cute.
For sure. So then we see, Gamble and Gina lingerie shopping. Tell everybody what you were saying to me.
Can we just talk about Gamble's ass right now? I mean, her body is insane. She has, we're both in our 20s. She has a 10 times better body than I do.
me too.
I don't know how she looks that good.
I mean, there's literally nothing, no wrinkles,
cellulite,
no cellulite. I'm young and I feel like I already have cellulite.
Yeah.
It's a genetic thing though, so maybe her mom's a total babe too.
I guess so. I mean, whatever she is doing, it is working.
Right.
She looks fabulous.
So true. And all the lingerie was cute.
Yes. She looked amazing.
Would you ever spend almost $2,500 on lingerie?
That was ridiculous. I mean, I guess if you have it,
that's what you're used to. That's
each his own. Go for it, girl. But I don't know.
I think the Victoria's Secret stuff looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems so unnecessary too.
Yeah.
Doesn't the guy just rip it off
right.
anyways?
Well, she did say that. She does say she doesn't spend the money on things that he just rips off.
Yeah.
So it's a special day. I'll give it to her.
Okay.
For the wedding. Fine.
But
any
in
other
US
day.
dollars, isn't that almost $3,000?
I didn't even think about it like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's just
good for her.
That pays my rent for two.
I know,
two
right?
and a half months. Oh my god. So yeah, that was a cute little snippet of them and their relationship.
It was cute.
We haven't seen those two one-on-one in a little bit, so that was nice. But the big reunion would be Janet and Brian this episode, and they're talked about a lot today, or this episode, and they have their first family dinner that they've had in almost 2 years.
That scene was just at the end, the table when they were all there. I got chills. I thought it was just so sweet and touching, and kudos to them for being able to put their relationship issues aside, and come together as a family and toast to love. And I definitely think there's a romantic thing going on there.
Absolutely.
They're definitely hooking up. He was kissing her and loving her like he is trying to win her back. She said that he was cooking, she was drinking the scotch. She's holding all the cards at this point.
And she admittedly said that she wanted to have lots and lots of sex.
Yeah.
So there's a day where she can't hold out.
Yeah.
For sure.
What do you think about that apron?
Oh, it was so funny.
That was really funny.
I want to buy one for my boyfriend. I would love to see him cook in that. I think that'd be hilarious.
Oh my god.
Or grill.
That was very that was funny.
And funny that the food sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, it did. It looked awful. They were like, I think this was
Yeah,
Meant
it
to be
did
soup
not
gone
look good. It
wrong.
looked like dry or something, and apparently there was blood in it.
Oh my God, because he cut his finger? I know, it's so gross.
Gross, gross. What do you think about her PTSD?
Yeah, so you know what? I didn't expect that. We were trying to guess last week what the diagnosis was. You know, she said, when she said she was losing weight, I was like, oh, maybe she's anemic, or maybe, you know,
right.
we didn't think it was going to be something super serious,
Yeah.
but that is serious,
Yeah.
and I don't think people realize that that's something that they can actually be diagnosed with 4 years after the fact, or however long after the fact it was.
Yeah, it was very touching. I thought, too, the way that her son responded, saying, you know, Mom lived it more in some ways than I did.
Right.
I was just like, I can't even imagine. And it makes me really love Janet. You know, that's like a lot.
A lot.
And it shows what a mother she is, and, you know, a fighter, really.
Yeah, you could never imagine having to go through those things with your son or any family member, but especially your child. And
Yeah,
it's awful. And so I definitely hope that she can can get it fixed and get help. And it was nice to see that she was relieved to be diagnosed with anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about it, and I wonder what they do now to help.
Yeah, I think they're
Therapy
probably, I
and-
don't know. I mean, probably, therapy. I would think it's like mental.
Yeah.
And then just helping her like cope with that anxiety about things.
Right.
I did kind of love how Brian made fun of her.
Oh my God,
Everybody in Melbourne. I love that.
That was funny, and then the whole family started doing it.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It was so sweet. I mean, they literally seemed like the Brady Bunch. They just seemed so chummy and perfect that I understand why the kids are like, get back together. But
oh my gosh, that's so hard. Like, yeah, you can be the perfect guy, but if you're not loyal, like, how do you expect her to want to be with you?
Totally understand her. Like, heck no,
Right.
I'm not going back to this. I'm not going to deal with that emotional roller coaster. And I think we can all relate to that.
Sure.
Like, you know, wondering where your person is, and, you know, that feeling, it's awful.
So what about her date, though, with Christopher? What did you think? What were your reactions to Christopher in general?
So, I don't know. I mean, he seemed okay. I didn't feel like I could trust him, but I feel like maybe that was nerves. You know, I think when you're nervous, you feel like guarded and things. And, you know, it seems like he's like new out of a relationship, which I feel like, I feel like Janet's a little bit vulnerable, but I guess she's a strong woman. She can watch out for herself.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's there kind of not expecting much and just like to have some fun and a dinner and whatever. That's interesting that you said you can't trust him. I really just got the vibe that he was boring. Like, I was
he
just
did
kind
seem
of like,
boring. Yeah.
she's too like fun and social.
She needs
and, like,
somebody that's a bit.
She would kind of have to drag him to social.
And I think that's why Brian and her get off so well, because he is so
over the top and animated
lively
and just,
I could see why he would be very charming for her.
Yeah, I don't think
he
Chris
said-
is gonna be around anymore.
No, he looks, you know, I guess good for a guy that age, but
Right, I know. Isn't that funny? They're always like with these older men, like, oh, they are so handsome.
so handsome.
And I'm like,
yeah. But
maybe we'll know. Well, maybe we'll understand.
Oh, I
when we get
loved
to
her
their age.
expression. Brian to Christopher is like chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
That's like one we don't use here. I've never heard that one before. Have
Yeah.
you?
No.
Yeah, I loved that. That was really cool. But yeah, I mean, by the end of it, they were holding hands and seemed kind of cute. So
Yeah.
I don't
mean,
know.
Hey, as long as she's happy,
maybe
we want
we'll
her to be
see
happy.
more of Christopher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me take you into Lydia's house, which I think I mean, I love Lydia's house.
Oh
Her
yeah.
house in general.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I like her style too.
Yeah.
I must be honest. Like when
Yeah.
we compared Gina to Lydia's outfits in that scene,
Right.
that blue monochromatic outfit with the like over the top Barbie hair and like jewelry, it's so too much.
Yeah.
And Lydia's just like cool and kind of rock and roll, and I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like Lydia's style. Her shoes were really cool. I don't know if anyone caught her
didn't see
wedges. They
them.
had a like hole in the middle of the heel
I
cut
love
out.
that.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I love Lydia's house. Can't say I love Lydia yet.
No. You know,
No.
I love to like kind of hate her in a way because she's just so crazy.
But she's easy to hate. I mean,
yeah.
she comes off so narcissistically. Like, she talks down to people almost
Yeah.
the entire episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like, I'm not going to say as far as I can't stand her yet, but
Yeah.
like, I don't enjoy the scenes where I have to, to watch
Well,
her.
she has a blog.
She does.
Maybe she'll write about some of this stuff in the
Perfect.
blog. Because she has like a fashion high-end blog, so maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys have heard about BeautyCon box. It's really cool. It's a subscription box that's delivered to your door each season. We were looking at the products earlier. They're super cool.
This looks awesome to me.
What is it?
It is sea salt spray. So my hair is naturally curly and like to get like that kinky,
textured
beachy
look.
waves. Yeah, textured look.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's actually curated by all of your like favorite beauty gurus, everybody that knows a lot about fashion. There's over $150 worth of product for $30.
This is pretty awesome. Ultra like cleansing oil.
I
That's nice,
spend-
so it doesn't dry you out.
That stuff is so good, actually. I've used it. It takes up all of your makeup. And if you ever, like for us, for sure, wearing a lot of makeup, that stuff works.
And
amazingly.
California is so dry right now. Like every time I wash my face, I'm like, I need hydration. But this is great too, like to make your eyelashes longer.
Oh, wow.
So there's all sorts of stuff in here. I think something for everybody.
Yeah, and for only $30, I mean, I spend more going to Target and walking down the beauty aisle.
No, you could never get this at a store
For sure.
For $30, all this stuff.
You can, get onto a payment plan, pay each month for the box and the shipping costs. And actually, what's really fun is we have a promo code for you. So if you use the code BOXBUZZ, BOXBUZZ, you get 20% off of your subscription.
I'm for sure doing this.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna steal
What's
all
that
those
promo
products.
code?
Yeah, right. That is BoxBuzz.
BoxBuzz.
And that's at beautycon.com/box.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is great.
Very cool.
I could like look at this the whole time, but we should talk about it.
No, it's fun. All those girls in Melbourne wear so much makeup anyway, they'll probably love to see it too.
I feel like Gina could get some tips from this box, like
Especially the makeup remover.
yeah, exactly. Brow Tech shaping powder, like just cool stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right.
Very cool.
Coolio.
Very, very cool.
Um,
But yeah, so we were, talking about Gina and Lydia
Yeah.
at their house, and Lydia's conversation about Susie. I mean, she really does take any opportunity to bring Susie up and talk about this relationship.
yeah, but I would argue that Susie kind of does it right back at Gina though too. Like when they were at the what was it, Pottery Barn?
Yes.
Susie just out of nowhere was like hating on Lydia. And I don't know, it seemed weird. But apparently they have this history, but then that was weird that Lydia was like, I don't even know you.
That's what I thought was so bizarre, because
Someone's lying.
I believed Susie when she was saying, I went to her 30th birthday party, I went to her wedding. Let's say you only went to those two, right?
Yeah.
You only went to the birthday and the wedding. That's
Those
plenty.
are pretty big events.
A wedding?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's like ridiculous how she was acting in that conversation, and that was the point where I was like, I really don't like you.
Yeah, no, that made me like, I feel like Lydia's completely lying.
Yeah.
Because you're exactly right. Those aren't like, oh, we saw each other at that gala once. It's like you invited me to these major life events, and I've been, reciprocated, like, we've been friends. And I feel like Lydia maybe is just like afraid of being caught and wants to play it like we didn't even know each other.
Right.
But
And I kind of agreed with Susie when she said, the way that she's acting so defensive, which she's done in the past.
yeah.
For very small things
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I do kind of tend to side with Susie in thinking that maybe she did say something.
Yeah.
I agree with Lydia in saying, like, get over it, girl. You don't have to be friends with her. If you didn't like
Yeah.
what she said and you think it was her, don't be friends. But,
Right.
like, let's just get over it.
Right. I do agree. It's like she's kind of bringing
they're
it
all
back.
old enough.
Yeah,
Like,
from like a million years ago, as
Right.
she said.
Just get over it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
I don't know.
The weirdest part was when Susie found out that Gina and Lydia were friends again, and then Susie almost started crying. I was like, whoa, what is this reaction?
Didn't you think that was the weirdest thing ever? Because I felt like it was like a mafia like situation of like, you may not know this, but like I've made alliances with Gina.
That's how Lydia talks.
Do you know
It's
what
like-
I mean? Like it would just seemed like, what are you implying? Like, and because of these shows and the way they work, I felt like that was like to Susie, like, you don't know what she's told me about you. You know what I mean? I felt like that was like a subtle thing of her trying to get in Susie's head.
Well,
like, don't think she's your friend.
Right. I don't know. I kind of took it more like she found out that Gina was friends with her again, so she was like, oh crap, like now I can't hate Lydia just because Gina hates Lydia, but now they're friends, but now Lydia hates me, so like, uh-oh, now I'm just not gonna have friends anymore.
Right. It was a little all over the place. I wish Susie would stand up a bit more. Like, I think that she is maybe one of the classier in the group in terms of she's very reserved.
So far.
And she kind of doesn't kind of go below the belt.
Right.
I haven't seen. But if she really has been so wronged by Lydia, I wish that she would kind of step it up and kind of like call her out a bit more and, you know.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like she should address some of this stuff, and she's letting it slide.
I agree with you. Yeah, she's just like so innocent. Even in this episode, her boys are trying to set her up.
Yeah.
And which is cute.
Yeah.
But the guys sound terrible.
That's why the guys sounded like the weirdest people ever. Oh,
Like
she
the-
needs a new site,
Except for the one when the boy said, oh, he loves Destiny's Child. And she was like, sign me up.
Yeah. She's cute. I don't know. Oh, shame. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about the bridal shower, but I was sad to hear about her boy.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to that whole sappy talk in a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just...
So Gina was saying, though, that they're now okay with the Stockholm Syndrome. I thought that was funny.
That was funny.
But I don't think that's a real alliance.
I don't think
I'm
so
going to
either.
be curious to see what happens between the Susie, Gina, Lydia
little
mix.
triangle. Yeah, me too, because I don't know how, like Susie said, how close they can be.
Yeah.
Like, Gina just can't forget, you know, everything
I definitely
that
think
happened.
Susie's right there. Like, Gina's not a moron. She's a
Correct.
barrister. She's a lawyer. She is intelligent, and she's not somebody to just frivolously kind of, oh, okay,
Right.
now we're besties again.
Right.
I mean, I think that she's like, listen, I'll tolerate you, but, you know, I'm not going to trust you in the same way.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll
Keep
be
your friends
interesting.
close and your enemies
Yes,
closer.
I think that's what she's doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so the fun part of the
Yay!
episode, the bridal shower.
Yes.
Literally the bridal shower. Everybody was a bride today.
I want Chyka to be my friend.
I like Chyka
I love
too.
her events too that she plans. Like, oh my gosh,
Why wouldn't
they're
Gamble
so
have her do the wedding?
gorgeous.
Maybe she didn't want to put that kind of pressure on, or
Yeah.
didn't, you know, think that she could maybe do
Maybe
a
it's
bit
like
of a
too
deal
big.
or whatever.
Yeah, you know, like I think Chyka's business is too big, maybe for planning something like that. But I don't know. But yeah, that shower looked gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Chyka always just seems sweet.
She does.
She's been
every once in
catty
while
a few
she's
times. Yeah, stirs that pot
a big old pot.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's usually the mediator
compared to the others.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Whose dress was your favorite? Whose
Actually,
old gown was your
I
favorite?
loved. Well, okay, so I had two.
Okay.
And I loved Lydia's.
That's pretty.
Dolce & Gabbana, that was stunning. And I think it's really cool to do something so different. But I loved Jackie's too, in the picture.
In the picture.
You know, I didn't love it the way she was wearing it that day as much because I think it's like hard to wear a wedding dress and you're tired and it's uncomfortable and everything. But I loved in her picture, she looked stunning.
Yeah, she did. She looked
like a rock
perfect
star's
rock
wife.
bride.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I totally agree. I just loved seeing Chyka's because it's like the typical
80s,
probably like 70s or 80s dress with that giant flower hat. And all of her bridesmaids were pretty much in gowns. Like, bridal gowns as well with the same hat. I mean, it was funny. It was like over the top.
It was a lot of lace.
Yeah, and I love that she pointed out that the back wasn't zipped at all.
Right,
Like, she's
right.
like, I'm not going to show you the back.
Yeah, I was impressed that a lot of them could fit into their
Penaflor
dress.
looked great. Listen, I'll give that girl. She's in
in
great
the
shape.
best shape of her life.
She is, though. She is. I think
Yes.
she looks better than she ever has.
What's her the opening statement? Like, I'm in the best shape of my life. Who cares to differ?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Something dumb.
Something ridiculous. Okay, great. Congratulations.
Right. So this shower gets pretty sad.
This is not the typical shower.
Because they start talking about their children, and what we really don't ever know, and it's because she doesn't talk about it, Gamble is upset that she never had kids of her own.
Yeah.
And it really looked like, I mean, that really was something that...
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of Jackie with that because she's been struggling with that. I would think that would be a big, like, aha moment for her. Like, ooh, maybe I can learn from this. That, like, this is something that, you know, even somebody with the perfect life, so to speak, with, you know, the love and marriage and money and everything, and even a stepchild, you still kind of feel
Sure.
that instinct to want
Yeah.
to be a mother.
I think Jackie almost keeps that stuff to herself and wants to just have fun socially.
Yeah.
Where she can talk to like Chyka, her good friend, when she wants to.
And I respect
she
that.
likes to just kind of shove everything else under the rug a little bit so that they could just have fun, and then she'll deal with it later.
Shine it up for Gamble, as she said.
Shine it
I
up.
love that.
Yeah, well, we hear Susie's sad story about her son being in a four-wheeling accident with her ex-husband.
Right.
And she was talking about how it was really hard to trust him with the son after that because he was in the hospital for a week and a half, and it was, I mean, really, really
Sounded
hurt.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would think like that would really be tough on a marriage. I mean, they ended up divorcing, of course. So,
And that would be hard. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, so it's so hard. You do have to realize that, but
yeah,
at the same time, you're like, if that was me, that would have never happened.
Right.
You don't know that, but that's what you think.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So that was tough.
Yeah.
Tough to listen to. Even tougher to listen to is Penaflor
OMG.
jumping in after to talk about her dad. You know what? And at first, when she started talking about it, I was like, wow, you know what? That's really sad. She's going to get into something really sad about how her family broke up with her. Because we saw with her sister, she doesn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, here's the story. We're going to get some background. And then it was like, well, then my cousin walked me down the aisle. And my cousin's also no longer here. Yeah. And blah, and
then they went to Vegas and eloped. I mean, literally, this was ridiculous. I just thought it was the perfect example of how Penaflor makes everything about her. I mean, we literally started the episode with her making everything about her, and we ended it with her making everything about her. And I love how Jackie just like calls it out. She was like, it obviously was, you know, starved for attention. She just wants it to be about her.
BS
Susie
crying.
finally had a moment, you know, we haven't seen much of her. And I thought that was like really wonderful of her to share and gives us a glimpse into her life.
Right.
And this was just like nonsense. And she's like, oh, give me a tissue. You know, she's like, everything is just all about her all the time, or else, you know, it's not entertaining
it's
enough
so
for her.
sad that she feels like that. I mean, like she's like that insecure about not having these girls as their friends.
It just shows
like
that
if she literally just didn't try, they would love her.
Yeah, 100%. If she was open and vulnerable and nice and honest. But it just showed her sister was exactly right, in my opinion.
Right.
That it's all about her all the time. I can't even imagine having a sister
That would be tough.
like that at Thanksgiving or whatever.
Yeah, that would be really, really tough.
I mean, in Aussie, I guess you wouldn't have Thanksgiving, but whatever. Holidays.
Right.
Okay,
my favorite part of the entire episode, Janet talking about how she told her ex-husband to be at the church at 3:30. She's getting married, whether he's there or not. She's getting married. And he said, I'm not getting married. He didn't even propose. And she went and bought a dress and food for 130 people.
and cooked it herself.
Right. The same day.
Oh my God. I actually like fell in love with Janet this episode. I mean, I've always kind of liked her. Last season, she was a little questionable. She was kind of stirring the pot a lot.
Right.
But she's really kind of been lovely this season. And that was just so adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, what chutzpah to go do that. I think she's hilarious.
So funny that he showed up, too.
Yeah. Yeah. She called his bluff.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
And then she called him weak.
Yeah.
And
she
gutless.
meets him at the altar and calls him
my
weak.
God.
Yeah.
She's
hilarious.
funny. It's funny that you say that, too, about her last season stirring the pot a lot. They edit it towards the audience hating someone, I feel like, every
always.
season. Like this season, it's Lydia for me because last season I didn't mind Lydia at all. I was
You're
like,
exactly right.
she's like the most normal.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, God, she is not the most normal.
Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I always see that the most. Like Lisa Vanderpump, it is the most extreme. Like one season I love her, the next I'm like, she's the evil like spawn of Satan. And then like the next one I'm like, she is the best person on the planet.
Right.
And it's like all the editing.
I know, it's hard to decide.
Same with like poor Camille Grammer the first season.
Oh,
my
she got
gosh.
it really bad. And she seems really nice.
Yeah. She actually seems like a really sweet person and was going through a divorce.
Right.
Because her husband was like, you know,
Oh, God,
terribly
yeah,
cheating
Kelsey
on her.
Grammer
And like
is
all
like
that
a-
was going on. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I would like to meet these women.
I know.
We're hoping to talk to Jackie.
Yes.
In a little phone interview. So we'll try to get some good, juicy gossip out of her. But if you guys have any questions for her, go ahead and comment them on YouTube.
Yes.
And we would be happy to ask them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. This
Good episode. I'm excited to see what happens with this wedding.
Yeah. So let's get into some predictions about the wedding.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
What do you think?
Well, my prediction is it's not going to go as planned.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I've had friends that have had weddings and it's rained, and it's not ideal, but it can work out. So I'm hoping for her that maybe it rains for a little bit, but then it changes. And
Have you had a friend that had a wedding open on a beach and it rained?
I sat through a rainy ceremony. It wasn't on a beach, but
it was outside?
Yeah, there was no plan B. So, you know, it happens.
Oh, my God. So you guys literally just sat in the rain?
Soaked. Yeah, we had like umbrellas, but I mean, it doesn't really help. It was a lot of rain.
Wow.
I hope my friend is not watching this.
Beautiful wedding, just wet.
It was a gorgeous wedding. It really was. But like, yeah, it just, what are you going to do?
No, yeah, you can't.
What
My
do you
parents,
do?
it horribly rained that streets were closing down because the rain was so bad.
Oh,
and
my
people like
gosh.
missed the ceremony and stuff, but they at least were inside.
Well, they say it's good luck. So are your
'Cause
parents
what else are they
still
gonna
together?
say? They are.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Perfect.
But
So
yeah, I think it's going to rain. I think there's going to be some bumps along the road. But I
Mm-hmm.
think by the end of the episode and the end of the situation, we're going to see Wolf Pack or whatever his name is.
Wolf Pup.
Yeah, Wolf Pup with her happy and in love and all is well.
Good. What do you think Gina leaves for?
Yeah. I thought that was interesting because Gina kind of does what suits her. So I don't know if she was
Yeah.
leaving because she's like, the wedding's wet and it's not enjoyable and I'm going.
And my foundation's going to
Yeah,
drip off
exactly.
my
Like my
face.
hair, you know, my hairspray is strong, but it's not that strong. I don't know, but it didn't seem like she was leaving for something that was like a family emergency.
Right.
It felt like she was leaving because she's like, I'm going, honey. You know, love you. Good
Right.
luck. Where she had been
Like I'm
picking
just
up.
not having fun anymore.
Yeah,
Like, I'll see you tomorrow.
exactly. And like she had been picking out the lingerie with her and been like kind of a close friend with Gamble. So I'm really curious to see what that's about.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the wedding is gonna be fine. I think that that's the night before. They're so worried about it, and it's gonna be okay.
Was that the night before?
I mean, nobody's dressed up. She's not in
Yeah,
a gown or
you're
anything, so I'm
right.
guessing that it is. And
Maybe-
I did hear somebody say you can't cry on your wedding night, though.
Oh.
So I don't know
yeah,
whether
right,
it's
right. They said you can't cry on your wedding night.
whether it's after, but maybe in Australia they call their wedding night the night before their wedding.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
yeah, we don't
who
know.
knows?
That's a good point.
So-
yeah.
It could be that, but I'm interested to see why Gina's leaving.
Yeah.
And side note, don't you think she should be making her own hairspray and not perfume? I mean, literally,
Yes.
her hair doesn't move. Like
I mean,
when you
it's,
just said
it's
that, I
glue.
was like,
It's like glued in place.
yeah. So when we come back next episode, Gina's hair will be exactly the same, but we'll have different stuff
I think
to talk
we'll
about.
have some more blue glittery eyeliner on her too.
Oh my God, it drives me insane.
Great outfits.
Anything else you want to add about today?
No, I'm just excited for the wedding next week.
Yeah, me too. Okay, well, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Great being with you all. My name is Angela Struck. You can find me on Twitter at the Angela Struck and on Instagram and Snapchat at Angela Struck.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hayley Clover. And don't forget to comment along on YouTube with us and comment any questions you have for Jackie.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.